Welcome in, everybody. Warchant TV and Warchant.com. Always a pleasure to be with you. I'm Jeff Cameron alongside the man, Ira Schoffel, and we are here just after practice number 1 for Florida State football. Let the games begin, partner. It is time, and it was a hot one out here today, as to be expected this time of the year. I think the players felt that, too, today. It was spirited, but some guys were getting a little worn down towards the end.
Yeah, some guys had to fill up some trash buckets from time to time. Also, something I don't think I've ever seen before is Robert Cooper, when he was talking to the media after practice. I'll give him credit, man. He's grinding it out. He's getting leg cramps while he's talking to us, and he's fighting through the leg cramps. And when you watch the video of Robert Cooper talking after practice, you see him like going side to side. He's trying to keep his legs from cramping. Look, it's not conditioning, I don't think. Those guys have worked hard. Part of it's adrenaline. The first day of practice, and Jeff, you know better than anybody because you played.
It's brutal.
The first day, you got all that adrenaline going, all the excitement, and then adds to it, and then that's how you get cramping, which we saw of a decent amount today.
Yeah, a lot of cramping today. That's to be expected, but you're absolutely right. That first day of practice, guys want to make an impression. The younger guys who are going to be walking in for the first time, wide-eyed, they want to make an impression. You got veteran players trying to send a message, coaches riding players to set the tone. So it is going to happen that way, and it did. But I will say this. Couple things that really stood out. Ira, we can compare notes here right off the bat. I am impressed with what Florida State has in the way of bodies up front at the line of scrimmage. We cannot say that we've ever felt that way watching practice number 1 over the last 2 or 3 years. This is the first time in a while where I went, I don't know how many you counted, but they've got a good 10 to 12 guys that they're going to rotate in there that have the requisite size and I think body types to compete.
Yeah, when you think about what the offensive line looked like, even last year, but certainly 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and then you look at what they have out there now, they had 21 offensive linemen in practice, including some walk-ons, but a lot of big dudes, especially when you look at these transfers that came in. Justin Turnetine from South Carolina,
Huge.
Dimitri Emmanuel from Charlotte's a big dude. I mean, they brought in grown-ass men to help that offensive line, and it's obvious when you look at it.
You hit on the two I wanted to hit on.
Right.
Those two specifically, I think, wowed a lot of people out here. Not just with, I'm not talking about playing ability. We'll see when they put on the pads.
Yeah, we don't know much about the playing part.
Yeah, but the size is something different here. Even Julian Armello, you see him as a freshman. I know everybody's so excited. They're recruiting a different type of body there. What that allows you to do, obviously, is have more intense practices, and you really create competition. Going against a veteran defensive line, that's going to be necessary. So I feel real good about what they have right there. I haven't said that in a while. Anything else stand out to you? I thought, again, the defense kind of ruled the day.
Yeah, and when I asked Mike Norvell about that offensive line depth, and he talked about how good it is from a teaching standpoint because they can really split up and have 2 full groups going through things in practice, he immediately said, yeah, well, how about the defensive line? Because the defensive line does have more depth as well because they've got some of those freshmen that we saw in the spring. You know, we know about the 2 deep, and we feel pretty good about the 2 deep overall. But they also have some freshman defensive linemen that came in during the spring that are impressive as well. Bishop Thomas, Daniel Lyons, those guys look even better than they looked in the spring, and they were impressive in the spring. I think those guys might get on the field. And as you mentioned, defensively across the board, I thought the defense, got the best of it. But the young DBs, Azaria Thomas and Sam McCall
had a good day.
I mean, those are, again, like you said, it's just a different level of athlete than we've seen here in a while.
Yeah, and again, we talk about that next step that Florida State has to take. Well, the only way you can really do that, obviously, is bring in a better caliber of athlete. I think you see more of it and a better depth of it across the board. And then again, you want veterans to show up here today, proving to you that they're in shape, that they're ready to go, that they can lead. And I thought a guy like Duke Cooper looked great today.
Right. Oh, man, he was awesome.
Didn't he look
really
great today?
Did look good.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's hard to take a whole lot out of one-on-ones, and especially if they're not in pads yet. But he made some sensational plays, just out-fighting receivers for the ball, just his ball skills, timing. He seemed to play with even more confidence than he's played with before, and he's always had a lot of confidence. Real impressed with him. And I think that was probably the only disappointment a little bit was you'd like to see the receivers win more of those battles, but the DBs won most of them, I thought.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a while before the offense catches up. That's usually the way it is this time of year. There's no real surprise there. I do want to add this just because I think everybody's probably wondering. It's just day 1. Of the 7 catchable punts that I counted, they were 7 for 7.
How about that?
7 for 7 balls caught that were catchable. I almost
nothing rolling down the street.
Nothing rolling down the street. None of that. hidden yardage that they talk about that drives me nuts. None of that. All 3 guys catching punts caught every one of the ones that they had an opportunity to catch. It's worth noting, given last season. It's just worth noting.
Maybe we'll track it all preseason.
Yeah, that'll be my thing. I was locked in, guys. Everybody else was watching actual drills. I'm like, catch the ball, catch the ball. For Ira Schoffel, I'm Jeff Cameron. It's just day 1. We've got so much coverage for you. Don't forget Wake Up Warchant. Don't forget the Jeff Cameron Show. Of course, every week, Seminole Headlines. We'll have videos here from practice all week long into next week. We're just getting started. Let the football begin. Until next time, so long, everybody.